gentlemen, welcome back to the 2024 Mission WDF Lakeside World Championship. This is the home of World Darts. This is Lakeside! We have returned to the boys' quarterfinals and we welcome to the stage the winner of 3 World Youth Ranking titles, the reigning Welsh Classic and WDF World Open Champion from England, Mason T. His opponent is the reigning British Open, Swiss Open and Antwerp Open Youth Champion from England, the #1 seed, Jensen Walker!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to quarterfinals night here at Lakeside for the 2024 WDF World Darts Championship. 5 more thrilling matches are on the menu, including 2 former champions on this stage, Bo Greaves and Neil Duff. The legendary Paul Lim has shown stamina beyond his years, and he plays Dutch hotshot Jarno Bottenberg in the final contest. He knocked out compatriot and the then tournament favourite Jimmy van Schie last night. Dieter Hedman is in action against New Zealand's Nicole Renault. But up first, we have the last quarter-final from the boys' tournament, an all-English battle between Jensen Walker and Mason Tees. 2 players who've swept up titles on the WDF youth circuit for fun. 2 players who know each other well from 3 previous meetings. My name's Dan McCarthy, and I'm joined by someone who knows both of them very well, because they're 2 of your players for target, Lorraine Winstanley.
They certainly are. Both very valued members of the Elite One squad. I'm really looking forward to watching this match.
Jensen, the #1 seed here. So if you look at that metric, he is the man to beat. He's the oldest member of the boys tournament, aged 18. And he's been making an impact in the darts world for a few years now. Probably the most well-known of all the players in this tournament.
Jensen's absolutely dominated the WDF youth this year and last year, really.
81.
He's become a winner at a very young age, but let's not discount Mason Tees, who is a very capable player in his own right. Jensen making the stronger start.
131.
On for a 13 darter.
140.
Florian Price started today's boys quarter-final with an 11. Jensen looking for a 13.
Mason's previous visit put the pressure on that shot for Jensen. So Jensen's back for '66.
'66 foul, confident start for Jensen Walker despite 3 missed darts at double. Found '66 with the 4th. You know both of these guys very well, Lorraine. Just explain to us what kind of players they are, what kind of character they are, and if you think they're going to go really far in the game, which I'm sure that you do.
Oh, of course. They're both very, very talented young men. Jensen's probably just got that little bit more experience than Mason. It's really difficult to pick a winner.
We know that you're going to be unbiased in this because you want both of them to win.
Absolutely, I don't want anybody to get knocked out here, so obviously that is not going to happen. Different styles they both have. Jensen's very methodical. He likes to take his time. He likes to take that breath to compose himself before going for the double.
Bullseye. Glances at the scoreboard. Yeah, he had to go for it.
He did have to go for it. Mason took out a beautiful 170 in the Masters final.
And in comparison, 160's easy, but can only trim off a ton. Jensen looks at 25.
Let's give shoulder a second. Jensen walk.
Well, this could be rapid. First to 2 sets. I think the boys' quarterfinals have arguably been some of the most fun matches to watch this week.
Very, very entertaining. You never quite know what's going to come from Mason either. So he's very rarely phased by going behind in a game. He will find that level and dig in and still fight right to the bitter end. So anything could happen.
That 170 in the World Masters Junior final came against Lex Parshauser. Unfortunately, it was the only leg that he won. The young Belgian taking the title, just 13 years old. He'll play Archie Self in the first semi-final. The winner of this faces German Florian Price.
To be fair, I think Lex was just getting payback from the day before, really, when Mason beat him.
47.
Jensen's got the more experience of the two players, but Mason does lead the head-to-head record 2-1. Not that I expect either player will be thinking of that.
Yeah, those battles have come this year and they've been brilliant. Really, really good games, so.
Nicknamed the Interceptor is Jensen Walker, which is really cool, I've got to say.
136. 74.
There's that pause, just gathering his nerves.
54. West Unicorn 40.
For a first leg on the board. Good guide. And the guide is used.
Mason should settle down now, having got that double under his belt.
Different throwing styles as well, because the follow-through from Mason is straight and true. Jensen throws as a little bit of a flail of the arm, but he makes it work for him.
Yes, he does, and occasionally he does get a little bit snatchy with his last dart. Not very often, but you do see it occasionally.
96.
Everybody's action is different, and it is exactly what works for them.
60.
Superbly done.
How's that 171 column coming along, Dan?
Well, it's finally got an entry today.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a drought on them today.
Judging Unicorn 94.
Jensen doesn't have to start on the bull, so treble 18.
74.
He'll come back for the double 10 with Mason being on 215. He's applied some great pressure there.
77.
Get the 177 column going.
Jensen
Walker doesn't feel the pressure.
First set against the darts, so
Second set, first
Jensen to kick off this one.
First. Game on.
Jensen does have a superb cover shot on those 19s.
60.
Not only has Jensen been incredible in the youth system on the WDF, he started dabbling in senior tournaments as well.
He has, which is a really, really good thing to do because it just makes that transition into the senior game so much easier. Because effectively this will be his last youth tournament of the year.
174.
Okay, we'll get a 174 column going as well.
The refs will be happy. 174 is their favourite shot.
58, Jensen Unicorn, 93.
Another one for Marco Meyer's tally. How about an 11 darter?
Let's get some of the first line. Jensen Walker. So ladies and Mason to throw first. Game on.
Even sort of 10 years ago, you'd struggle to get kids of this age playing darts to this level.
74.
Great start there from Mason. And what a reply from Jensen.
57.
These two lads really are putting on a show for us tonight.
Aren't they just?
Oh,
140.
great darts there. As the boo goes around the room. Good ton there from Mason to leave 170.
Jensen questioned the cheek of the last dart to not go in the treble. How dare it?
I know, he did look a little bit surprised.
170. 81, Jensen Unicorn, 138. 98.
Sets that up beautifully to come back for tops. This 89's got to go for Mason.
Double 16.
57.
That was unlucky.
Jensen Unicorn, 40.
Double top then for Jensen Walker.
Let's give Sheldon a second.
Well, this has been
Jensen Walker.
absolutely magnificent.
Right like this, Jensen to throw
Now, we know
first.
it's a shorter format than the senior games, but a good leg here from Jensen, and he'll have the highest average of the week. Currently belongs to Jimmy Van Skeen, 98.98. Jensen's averaging 98 himself.
Fabulous start from Mason. We may see a 9 from Mason yet. Oh, wow.
17.
That really was unlucky.
If it's any consolation, I don't think it was quite going in treble 19. I think it was on the wire of the 3 and the 19.
Looked in for me.
Of course it did.
125.
What a leg for Mason here. He knows he needs it.
130.
superb reply from Jensen.
Pause for double top.
59. Jensen Unicorn 124.
Well, it only feels like we've been going 5 minutes, and yet it could be over. Jensen takes 1, 2, 4. Treble 18. Bullseye.
The bull.
91. Mason Unicorn 20.
He probably senses that it's game over.
I was just going to say, I think he may
Jensen
know.
Unicorn 33.
But this is the hardest double to get. It's the winning double, so
25.
Mason returns to save his
Mason
skin.
Unicorn 10.
First time we've seen Jensen flap at doubles.
No score.
Double 5 is troublesome. It's teasing Mason.
I see what you did there. Impressive.
Thank you.
Jensen Unicorn
Big dart here for
8.
Jensen. He's really taking his time. He knows what this means.
Not willing to rush.
No score.
That is sometimes the problem with standing back. You can overthink it.
Let's bring some
He knocks himself out of rhythm, and Mason T's duly stepped up. Pin double 5.
4 lagers for Mason to throw first. Game on.
Mason almost looked surprised with himself there.
96.
Jensen does have stage experience. He qualified for the UK Open as an amateur. Played Sebastian Białecki, who we saw at Lakeside last year.
140.
And beat him.
49.
Another fearless youngster in a sport that's beginning to bulge with them.
58. Mason Unicorn 148.
Jensen only picked his darts up in lockdown. So a vast amount of experience in a very short space of time.
100.
I was the same, but
Mason
I'm just not very
Unicorn
good.
56.
It's okay for some.
36.
That was a beautiful guide, that second dart as well. You'll be annoyed that that didn't go in.
Double top for the win.
Shot.
You just run out of words for these kids. Jensen Walker completes the semi-final lineup in the boys tournament. The oldest member, the #1 seed, the most experienced, has laid down a marker. Mason Tees will be back. Of that, there is no doubt. But a match of real quality sees Jensen Walker win 2-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation to Mason Tees. And to the boys semi-final, Jensen Walker. to change the board, and we will be back with our next match. This is in the ladies' quarterfinals as Dita Hedman takes on Nicole Renault.
Tickets. Are you someone that just sticks rigidly to one set, or will you have a play around?
No, I do not like change. I am so stuck in my ways. I'm one of those players that will get to the end of a tournament and my flights are really battered, but those flights have got me to that stage, so I don't change them because I'm really superstitious. Obviously, I have to change him if I split one or there's damage, but I try my best not to. Probably to the detriment of my own game sometimes, but when you get things stuck in your head, they're stuck in your head.
As we've said already, it's what works for you as a player.
Yeah.
$20 for tops. Not the common route to go on 117. Double top for the Renegade.
She breaks straight back. We could have a really close game on our hands here.
The early signs are good for Nicole. There haven't been any bounce outs.
43.
She walked away from a game against Wendy Harper only with an average of 68, but I imagine it could have been at least 6-7 points higher had it not been for some misfortune.
She walked away with a win, which is more important.
Of course.
Dita had an unfortunate start to this leg, and Nicole has really punished that. Let's see what Dita can produce here. Dita was at work last night till 6 o'clock this morning, so she will have had a little bit of a rest, but it's always hard to prepare for tournaments like this when you have to work.
I'm guessing you speak from experience on that.
Yes, well, prior to me taking on my role at Target, my background is hair and beauty, so previously when the World Championships has been January, I don't get much time for practice in December because everybody wants their hair and nails doing, so the majority of the practice came when we'd shut for Christmas, really. Yes, in the women's side of the game, the prize money doesn't reflect a full-time wage, so the majority of the women have to work.
Nicole leaves a finish. She's got the advantage of throwing first, having the bullseye in the practice room.
Pressure shot here from Dita, though. Superb 180. Great darts.
She had one dart at tops, which was pinned, and then one dart at the bullseye. Doesn't mean much in the way of scoring power.
She needs to find something from somewhere if she's going to remain in this tournament. It's a better first dart there for Nicole.
76.
Failed to back it up.
There's too many low-scoring visits for Nicole at the moment.
43.
She doesn't seem to be throwing with quite the right amount of power. Her darts sometimes are just sitting a bit wonky in the board, if you like.
43.
Yeah, it's a very graceful and elegant throw she's got.
Yeah, it is very.
You've then got the danger of floating the darts
Yeah.
in, trying to place them rather than really chuck them.
34.
And this is quickly unravelling for Nicole. Two trebles gets Dieter down to a finish.
That's so much better. The pace was better on that throw. I think maybe the pace of Dieter has perhaps slowed Nicole's natural throw down slightly, and it does make a difference. You start pushing and pulling. She needs to quickly find her own rhythm again.
100. Recorded by 71.
She's already had a go at this.
Missed the big number again.
31. Recorded by 136.
This would be another break of throw if Dieter takes this. But Nicole will be returning for tops.
Recorded by 40.
Beautifully thrown, right in the middle. Again, I think it was the same hole as before.
Yeah, it's got its own magnetic field.
Yeah.
It's just a hold though. Needs to find a break from somewhere.
60.
You are right, I think Nicole is being made to wait a little bit longer than she'd like to get back to the hockey.
40.
It's a unique throw that Dieter's got, lots of nooks and crannies to it.
There's an awful lot of movement, especially with the elbow. It sort of comes up and then down before she releases the dart. There is actually a lot that can go wrong with Dieter's throw.
60.
But I think the muscle memory is there to keep them nice and straight, if that makes sense. Could almost see the way Nicole threw those, that she was working her way across the board.
Nicole knows what's coming.
140.
She needs to string a couple of big visits together just to try and build her confidence a little bit.
60.
Good find with the last dart there. I don't know how Dita saw the treble there to get that one in.
All by feel.
Dita will be coming back for this 81.
Too much drift from Nicole.
Yeah. She just seems to have lost the line totally. Double 12. Cross for double 6. She'll be back.
Well, Nicole arrived at Lakeside last year as a relative unknown in the world of darts. She's come here as a seeded player. People remember how she performed last year. Maybe that has put pressure on.
It could well be. With a bit of fame, it does bring that extra pressure. I've only just noticed they're both in the same sponsorship camp, sponsored by 180.
60.
And for double 6.
She had to go for it with Nicole sitting ready to pounce on 150. And it's on. She's set it up beautifully to put the pressure on this 6 for Dita. Dita's got choices. She could go 2-2-2. That's the problem with going straight at it.
Single 3, single 1, double 1.
She takes a big breath. And finds the double. Another break and throw.
Now she's throwing for the set. Wins this. She throws in the third set. I'd say that Dita's been the better player, but it's all about timing.
39.
Opportunities haven't been plentiful, but Nicole's got 3 from 4 on the doubles. The only one she missed was that bullseye.
Yeah.
Tend not to get away with missing 10 at a double, and that's what Dita did in the last leg alone.
Bit of a slip there from Nicole.
24.
I think she knows the importance of this leg. She's just not picking off those trebles, is she? Being so unfortunate with the treble 1. Such fine margins, millimetres, can cost you so many points.
60.
And they're not badly thrown darts, they're just literally the wrong side of the wire.
The weight's perfect, it's just getting the line 100% correct.
26.
think if I was Nicole in this situation, I'd switch to 19s just to try something a little bit different. She's really struggling on those 20s. Even if it's just for 3 or 6 darts. Just to try and pick off a big score from somewhere. Because she can find the treble 19.
Just.
It was hanging on in. I'd have been running, which would have probably made it fall out.
Well, it's the minimum score from Dieter to leave a finish.
She's left the big one.
Brilliant counting. Both on the big fish.
Nice find from Dieter there. So over to you, Nicole.
She got 25 ball.
Yeah, she's got to.
Single 6, so 69 left.
64.
So Nicole will be looking at 19s to start this combination. Can't do it now, so Dieter's coming back for 12. That was almost a look of disgust on Nicole's face.
A look of concession.
Yeah, great dart. So Nicole's looking for a break of throw here to stay in the tournament and take the set. Well, Dieter's going to take it, and Nicole's going home.
Very steady leg from Dieter.
Dieter's experience will get her over the line here, I think.
Nicole has gone one better than she did last year. Played the same number of games by virtue of being a seed. She keeps plugging away in New Zealand, and maybe if she goes to Australia, the extra ranking points will go on her tally. And she'll probably be back next year.
I was going to say she's definitely going to be back, without a doubt. She's too good a talent not to be, and of course she's got age on her side.
Dieter could get one match dart.
Double 18. And finds it.
Well, experience has triumphed over youth. We expected it to be a tighter affair between Dieter Hedman and Nicole Renaud, but unfortunately the talented New Zealander never got going. Dieter made a strong start, While there may have been one or two dodgy legs in between, she was always in control, and she's into the semi-finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for Nicole Renaud. And into his 7th Lakeside World Championship semi-final, Dita Hedman. Well, ladies and gentlemen, another 5-minute break, 5 minutes, and we will be back with our next match from the men's quarterfinals as Neil Duff takes on Jason Brandon.
Tickets for the
140.
174 from Brandon puts him in the driving seat.
140.
I like that play. Go for the 180 and leave 47. Didn't quite happen.
64. Jason, you require 87.
Bullseye.
62.
He dared not go for it.
No, he didn't because of the 156 from the time before. Here we go, 157 on the board this time. Tops up for the set.
170. Jason, you require 25.
That's why he went for the ball down. Now he's got to tidy it up. He's missed the big number. Now we go to double 4. But that's twice in that set. Jason Brandon missed a big number, left with one dart in hand, converted. There is no messing around here. Duff is now straight in on set 2. There's no break, there's no gap in proceedings. Duff wants to move this along.
This could be a breathless contest at Lakeside. And even though Brandon is limiting himself by missing big numbers, it doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't put him off.
99.
What's impressed me that it's taken a 156 from Duff to go 2-1 up, and then he had to hit a 157 to take the set. So that tells me that Brandon is doing enough. When I look at the averages, Duff is running a 93 at the moment, and it's a 92 for Jason Brandon. We look at the tons thrown, it's 9-6 in Brandon's favour, 140 thrown, 6-4 in Duff's favour.
171.
And obviously, checkouts over a ton, that 156 for Neil Duff.
95.
Brandon sat on a bogey here, 166.
Well, we can never say that 171's a bad shot, but he should have known that it would have left the bogey number.
96. You require 107. 47. Jason, you require 70.
Missed the big number again. That's a hat trick from Jason Brandon, and an unwanted hat trick. And then very nearly missed what his intended target was. Lots of room to the right side for Neil Duff. Double 10.
That dart for 60, it's one that Duff throws to the left of the 20. Don't be alarmed, that's what he aims for, that's what he does. He aims for that left portion of the 20 to leave the top's bed open. Jason Brandon given an opportunity. Duff a wry smile and a shake of the head. We don't see that often from him. We do know Neil Duff, the 2022 world champion as the comeback king. Brandon here, I think no matter what happens this evening, he's enjoyed his first trip to the lakeside. He's ticked it off his bucket list. He was telling me it's one of those that he really wants, and I kind of said, I'd like to go to the Vegas Open as well. That's one that I'd like to tick off of my bucket list. And one day, I'm sure, hope to get there.
Gold-rated tournament, the Las Vegas Open. Talking to Jeff Springer last night, who's already got his card marked for that. Win that tournament, and you're guaranteed back at Lakeside next year. It takes the pressure off. Didn't get down to a finish, but in general, the cover shooting on the 19s has been terrific from Brandon.
Forced the situation a little bit there, didn't he, Brandon? On 140, he could have come out and gone for any other treble, really. Yeah, not happy with himself here at the moment, missing big numbers. It's a vital part once you get down under 180. It's paramount. It's what I tried to teach my kids when they were playing. It's the big numbers are the most important thing. Now we've got Duff at it here.
22.
And those two slips into single one mean Brandon has loads of time. I think Neil then was just telling someone in the crowd behind him just to steady on a bit and quieten down.
It really can be frustrating when this happens. It's not a bunch of voices that gets you, it's that one voice. And if they're directing something straight at you. Duff now looking to his team in the corner and saying, I've got to get my head straight. I've had this situation before myself, and it's very difficult to overlook it. You start thinking about how you've traveled all year to get here and played in the tournaments to get here, and why would somebody want to spoil your year's work? But you mustn't think like that.
First 180, but it's Brandon's fourth visit of 171 or above. So it's as good as 4 maximums.
It is indeed.
105.
Excellent work to get down to 116. Means he doesn't have to go the bullseye route, unless he hits treble 5, of course.
105.
Duff does the same thing to leave him on a lovely 2-darter. Double top.
76.
Right on the wire, and nicely thrown dart.
Neil needs to stop the rot. This is the little brother of 156. And he's not behaving.
Just took the pace off the dart there, didn't he? Took the beans off the power, off the propulsion, and found himself dropping inside. And we know that Jason Brandon does not know how to take the power off. He hits that double top. He heads into the break. 2-0 in the lead. Duff has got some thinking to do during the break. As we go there, Brandon leads 2-0. Who saw this coming?
Tickets for the 2025 WDF Lakeside World Championships go on sale this Sunday at 6 p.m. head over to www.eventbrite.co.uk to grab the best seats.
137.
I think we're soon going to see a period here where Neil Duff starts to settle down. And it will be how Jason Brandon reacts to that.
38.
The point that you made about this being the longest match that Jason Brandon's ever played, Neil's used to matches of this length, so if we do go 3 apiece in sets, it'll be a test of stamina as well as darting ability.
Yeah, it's not just that, it's the magnitude of the game as well. Duff's used to the magnitude of the game. He's used to being hunted down. When you're a former world champion, you are hunted down. It never goes away. It's like a tag on your back that everybody knows about.
140.
Some people get used to it very quickly. It takes
133.
more time, but
40.
Only a score of 40 offers encouragement to Brandon. We're getting another 171.
133.
he does like that 171 when he sat on 251 in particular. But it's like going home for a player. He knows that that's what he likes to do. He knows that he hits a 171 quite often there. So why not do it?
140.
Good stuff there from Duff. Really good stuff from the Northern Ireland captain. Although he's now renounced his retirement.
98.
That's the first time we've seen Jason Brandon way off with one dart in his hand. He was way off too.
Duff swoops in.
And back to another last leg decider.
26.
Bad start from Brandon. What has Duff got in response? Already in the treble.
100.
But it's an easy turn to throw. When you go and start with that 26 so badly, it's an easy turn to throw. You now need a couple treble visit. Jason Brandon's gone back to where he knows that he's capable on the trebles, and exactly what I said, you need a double treble visit, because Duff will be coming with more here, because this is what he does.
81.
A rare loose one there from Duff. Can't understand the pressure of the situation. Duff is really, really in the mire here if Brandon converts this leg.
It's
Not enough from Neil Duff. Could go bull, could go 18s.
Yeah, could go 15s. He fancies that 170, doesn't he?
Well, it's the minimum required, and he won't be happy with the setup.
Duff needs a treble.
60.
Once again, blocked it with his first two darts. Has those close matches taken it out of Duff? Let's go 18s here.
134.
Once again, sets up beautifully. Big match last night with one of his better travelling mates and one of his best mates, Barry Copeland. Went down to that last leg, didn't it? And they take energy out of you. Is this a sign that it took a lot out of Neil Duff?
Neil's played 4 more sets in the tournament. And 4 straight sets is what he needs to reach the semi-final.
4 set, first leg, it's Neil to go first.
Of all the people in this field that know how to come back from 3-0 down, Neil Duff's the one. You can't think he's having no luck here. Even the deflection aren't helping him, and you can see he's a forlorn figure there. He's got to grab something, he's got to find something positive. And at the same time, Jason Brandon knows he's there for the taking. He can see that Duff's not playing his normal game, and that can make you eager. It can make you over-try to try and finish the game off. He has to stay relaxed and continue to do what he's done for the first 3 sets. And when he's unsure, he heads down to that treble 19. It's like a second place solace for him. Duff trying to reap on all his experience and get back in this game, but sometimes the harder you try, the worse it gets.
And you could hear the sheer frustration unleashed from Duff. A primal growl on stage.
99.
You have to find a freedom, you have to find something. But that's not always easy when your opponent just isn't going away. Could this be the turning point?
And then, of course, Brandon steps straight in. When Neil Duff's on a bogey number, how typical.
And then hits 2 trebles, that's even worse.
127. Losing required 48.
Should get 2. Chooses double 16 this time round. Oh, wow. Is that a sign of nerves from Brandon? Is that a sign of nerves? I swear to goodness, that has confused Duff why he's gone that way. It's the old just about hit the double 7 trick. No, that's not there, mate.
7.
Nor is that one, and it's kind of cost him a dart. He should have been going there with 3 darts. It's now Duff pouncing on the mistakes as we see the tide starting to gradually turn in Duff's favour in this period of the match.
Still a long way to go, but as we always say, every comeback starts somewhere. The longest journey starts with the smallest step.
The crowd are into it, they're riveted. Duff roaring at himself for more. Brandon really sort of struggling at the top. He's having no success on the treble 20 at this particular moment in time. He's dropped down from a 94 down to a 91. Duff's average hasn't really moved, so it's a little bit more about what Jason Brandon isn't doing more than what Duff is doing. And what he isn't doing is scoring quite as heavily as he was before. And when he was getting those chances and taking them out first dart, he hasn't been doing that in this period of the game. Welcome to set play, ladies and gentlemen.
Neil Duff had a dart at tops for 157 in the first set. Complexion of the game could have been so much different. It's those little moments you look at.
Yeah, well remembered, mate. That was absolutely, it was a vital dart, wasn't it, as it turns out.
Another missed big number.
Another wiring of the ball. He just liked the bullseye, Jason Brandon. I don't know how much of that old soft tip he plays out there in the good old US of A. Here we go, Duff then, double 8. Brandon gets a dart at the ball, misses. Duff gets a dart at 8-8, misses. Jason Brandon needs to hit the big number. He's done that this time round. It's 8-8. Big moments. Switches up, moves off to the 4-4. It's a breaker throw. And a double treble visit here. Brandon tries to calm himself down, takes a deep breath, goes where he knows he can hit trebles again, and stays there. He's a very interesting darting character, isn't he, Jason Brandon?
He does make you think.
100.
Neil much more steady.
So a match start goes a-begging for Jason Brandon. Can Duff step in and extend this game? It's the dodgy 5-5. He hits it. We go to a break. It's 3-1 to Jason Brandon. And what Jason Brandon has to feel going into this break is that it was 1-1 in that last little session. Duff still pointing to the crowd. There's still an altercation going on there. He needs to get that out of his head. It's a slight recovery for Duff as we head into the break. It's Jason Brandon, 3 sets. Neil Duff, the number 3 seed, 1.
Tickets for the party in Toronto. The Swiss Open and Helvetia Open tournaments are held from May 30th till June the 1st. One of the longest running tournaments in Europe invites you to join them in between the most beautiful surroundings. The Swedish Open and Masters takes place from 15th to 17th of August. A popular tournament for many of Europe's best arrowsmiths, the double silver weekend always provides great entertainment. The Latvian Open and Riga Open are held from October 17th to 19th. One of the biggest tournament weekends in the Baltic region is near the end of the 2025 WDF season. An excellent chance to pick up your much-needed points in this silver and bronze weekend. For more information on each of these tournaments, go to the link in the description. A special thanks to our tournament sponsors and partners, Mission, Blaze, Quiff, Great Game, Dart Connect.
While the issues were sorted, from my vantage position here, I can see that half the table have moved and half the table was saved, so I can only imagine that it was one half of the table causing a few issues and maybe not joined to the party that are on the other half. But anyway, it's back to the darts.
If you just see at the bottom of your screen there where the Lakeside banner was, just beneath the scoreboard, and wait for the next camera shots. It was the table immediately behind that. Now, it only seems like half of them have been taken out. Whether or not Duff identified the noisemakers in particular, who knows? But he cannot let this affect his game going forward. They've been moved on, and now there aren't really any excuses unless someone else starts shouting.
I mean, there's a good sort of instance here where they may not have been shouting anything at Duff. They may be just being a little bit loud between themselves together. The thing with the Lakeside stage, it is a small stage. We touched on it yesterday. It's not the biggest stage in World Darts, although probably the most famous, and the tables are right up tight to the stage. They really are close. There's only one other place that I know that's very much similar to this, and that's the Circus Tavern. And you can hear the people on the table next to you drop a spoon. It is quite extraordinary at the Circus Tavern.
No issues of concentration for Brandon.
No, definitely not, and that's one leg that he will want to get under his belt nice and early and come back out and start having the feel that for him that normal business has been resumed with the way the game has been going. particularly for the first 3 sets for Brandon.
95.
He's been playing the underdog role perfectly, and can he finish it off?
26.
Duff looks a forlorn figure here. It's not often we see Neil Duff like this.
95.
It's been a metronomic performance from Brandon. He's playing like it's a practice game. He's playing like there's no opponent.
And basically that's how Neil Duff has to play to get back in this game. Throw with some freedom. It's not nice to see when there's sort of outside interference, sort of interfering with the game and interfering with somebody's head. Like you say, these players deserve the best of order. They work hard to get here. They work hard to make this stage. Just let the guys play. Let them get on with it. Don't interfere. But because that way you get the best entertainment out of them. That's the point. And you're here to watch the guys entertain.
60. Jason Unifier, 84.
It has killed the vibe of the game. There's no two ways about it. Misses the big number once again, getting slightly greedy, going for the treble 14 there. Had he have stayed safe on the big 14, he's left 32. Duff on 110.
Cost him a dart for a break of throw.
110 is usually the dart down the bottom, Neil. That should have been your first dart.
70.
You feel with that last leg that Duff won, there's a change about him.
59. Unifier, 32.
Double 8 for an invaluable break of throw. It's got to be the first of many.
16.
Just before that throw, we still see Duff looking around the auditorium as a guy stood up in the crowd at the table.
No faltering from the American.
It's Neil to throw first. 125.
Jason Brandon taking that third leg and just getting on with his job. That's all he can do.
140.
Duff now throwing in what looks like a very relaxed state. Jason Brandon comes down the bottom and starts hitting that treble 19 again, and it's like a body blow to Neil Duff every time he comes down there and does that. But Duff is in command on his throw here.
11 dart potential. Brandon needs another treble to get to the big fish. Not able to acquire it. tops for Neil Duff.
Guess what? We've got a last leg decider.
A dart that has bailed him out many a time. And is Jason beginning to lose his range on that treble 19? Well, the last dart suggests maybe not.
The first one was an adrenaline dart, wasn't it? He knows this is a big moment, having the throw. Duff has offered him an opportunity here to get away. This could be a tense, nervy leg here.
If Duff wins this set, do you think Jason's panicking?
Absolutely. Depending on how he wins it. At the moment, a couple of trebles in the right place here. We'll see somebody home and dry.
42.
And you can see that Jason Brandon's gone a little bit tight here. His pace has just dropped off, which means he's throwing slightly different. What a massive, massive change that is. But what Jason Brandon has done is when Duff is hit, he has also come back and hit.
96.
Duff is now back in at the oche, ready, waiting for Jason to get out of the way.
121.
First to a finish, but it's an awkward one.
Brandon has to leave himself a finish here, which he duly does.
100. Here by 135.
It means Neil starts on the ball.
Surely 1, 2, 3 starts on the 19s. He's been good on the 19s. .104, treble 18 to lead the ball. It's the bullseye for the match. And he knew it. He knew it.
This would be a champion's finish. And he's going to get a dart. At double top.
69.
Maybe that's it for Neil Duff.
This is not a time for Brandon to be missing big numbers. He has to eradicate all that.
It's just about in the 7.
Woohoo.
And Brandon quite rightly takes a step back, nearly knocks Duff off the stage. Don't think that'd improve his mood. Double top then. That's nervy.
7.
That's equally as nervy.
Here by 40.
21 darts thrown by Brandon, and he might be broken. Duff happy for some noise now. What an incredible dart from Neil Duff.
Nice little tap tap, lovely jubbly, onto the next leg.
140.
Some players like to watch what their opponent is doing, some players don't.
140.
I noticed that Jason Brandon there kept his head down on that last rope, didn't look at what Duff was doing until his last dart, and he's doing it again. Taking deep breaths, he's composing himself now.
140.
Sometimes you don't need to look. You've got the referee there to tell you what he's hitting.
60.
He's now found something funny.
Somebody was going to come on Neil while he was throwing, and I think he looked around and said, "I'm trying." And that's the way you have to react.
How about this?
121. Here by 121.
That's left a more awkward finish. If he's allowed back, treble 17.
97. Jason, here by 100.
Well, I will tell you, it's starting to become one of those lakeside classics that we all talk about.
Neil Duff with an instant break back. And now Jason Brandon is going to be thinking about those match darts again.
Not just thinking about the match darts, the crowd are now getting involved. The crowd are now getting on Duff's side. For the first 3 sets, Jason Brandon had kept the crowd quiet.
It could have been a whitewash for the American.
I did say, when at 3-0 down, if there was anybody that could bring this game back from the brink, we were looking at him in the form of Neil Duff. The concern for Jason Brandon is at the time where he was dominating the game, he was up round 94 average and Duff was on 86. It's now dropped down to 86 for Jason Brandon and 84 for Duff. Duff's doing no more than he was. It's more to the case than Brandon is dropping off. He's had his purple patch in the game and he's hanging on now. It really is blow for blow and dart for dart at this point. It's waiting for somebody to grab the game again by the scruff of the neck and say, I'm having this. Nobody's left their seat in here, well, unless they've been asked. Nobody's left their seat in here. They're all intrigued in this game.
Missing big numbers has become contagious.
It has been in this game. It shows that there's still the nerves there, and maybe they're thinking of the third dart before they've thrown the second.
71 left.
Duff the favourite here now then. Like you say, the crowd getting louder every time Duff wins a leg. I have Jason Brandon down as being a tough cookie. Is there another swing in this match to come yet? There is time. But as we said, this is the way Duff does it. This is the way he's been doing it all championship. This is the way he did it when he won in 2022. And all those great memories flooding back now to him. They will if he goes 3-3 after this leg. Brandon's attitude here, he has to hold and try and go down another deciding leg, which he won't have the darts. It's a concern for me that Duff is hearing these noises, because it's a kind of a sign that you're not quite in the zone for me. When you're right in the zone, you don't hear the noises around you. It's like all buffered out. And when you're not quite in the zone, you hear these things. And it's turning into a scrap, isn't it? A real scrap this is turning into.
Not the greatest setup. Up is the command from Neil Duff, not that far up.
57. Final 108.
Sensible to go that way and leave a tidy 2-darter.
to send us to a 7th and deciding set.
You require 100.
How many times have we said big moments in this game so far?
37. You require 88.
Doubles were looking so easy in the opening stages. They must look microscopic under this pressure.
This one would hurt. This one would hurt.
Painful for Jason Brandon. Neil Duff leads this darts match for the very first time since the 3rd leg of set 1. Remember that 156?
Right back, all those. Feels like hours ago, doesn't it?
41.
Looks to be a resigned look on Jason Brandon's face now. He's thinking about those chances now.
Jarno Bottenberg and Paul Lim are in for a late night. And whoever comes through this, the winner of that is in for a semi-final scrap. Can he slide underneath? It'd be hard not to feel sorry for Jason Brandon if he emerges as the loser. He gave himself so many chances. He's been a credit not just to himself, but to the talent that is coming over the Atlantic. It will be a huge lesson and learning curve. Neil Duff is here to do a job.
20. Jason, you require 112.
Treble 19. They're drying up.
52. You require 40.
Crowd really getting into this one. And they have affected it. There's no two ways about it. They have helped Duff on the comeback trail.
Superhero-esque from Duffman.
Really using those get out of jail cards. Allowing
100.
Match darts at himself. I'd say Jason Brandon only threw a couple of those at tops were the bad ones. The rest were well thrown darts, but you don't want to be going in that back room and saying, what a great game, mate, and everybody tapping you on the back. When you've lost 4-3, it's a harsh thing. But I think he has the character, Jason. I think he has the character to understand it. And should Duff go on here and take this leg, which he's trying his best to give away. Let's not beat around the bush here. He's done the hard work to get back into it. Sometimes you can get there and go, oh, I'm now back here, and forget your job. But he didn't do that with the first two legs. It's now Duff with the tight arm.
On 140.
That'll do fine.
Like you say, a rippled applause for the 140.
It's not been a high-scoring contest, but it's been so utterly engrossing.
Jason, you require 68.
It's had everything, Dan. It's had everything. High shots, low points, missed silly numbers.
20.
He cannot believe his luck.
You require 119.
Went aggressive, went looking for the 25.
Had to take a bow, Jason Brandon.
In the circumstances, that is the best finish we have seen all week by a mile.
Does the momentum now go with Brandon? Duff looked in cruise control at 2-0 up in this set. Duff rightfully taking his time.
Jason's biggest finish before that, 56.
This will go down as a Lakeside Classic. There is no two ways about it. It will go down as a quarter-final classic. Goes down to the 19s and starting to hit. And where the crowd was on Duff's side, we're now hearing the oohs and ahs when Duff doesn't do it. And he'll be hearing them too. Brandon chasing around the board to find a treble, and that will be music to his ears. But here comes Duff. Oh, I thought a 180 was coming. That was sat right in the top of the treble bed. It was sat there to be hit.
How are they still up there and still throwing in this circumstance? Neil picks off a treble, but it's safe to say that 148's rattled him.
Brandon has to turn the corner here.
61.
And he hasn't, so he's given Duff.
Thank you.
Jason could have won this match with a 114.
60.
That was the 5th of 5 match darts he missed.
Duff has done the minimum requirement, left himself a 164. Treble 18 here.
98.
You walk back now, Jason Brandon, and get your head down and think about that double 8 in case you get a go. Oh, Duff was looking like he was going to do it. I'm on the edge of my seat here. Wow. Just wow.
Your moment has arrived, Jason Brandon. And the comeback king has been derailed. One of the greatest quarter-final matches this venue has ever seen has been won by the unassuming underdog. Neil Duff will not be adding to his Lakeside titles this year. Jason Brandon has won an enthraller.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you will agree that was an absolute belter. Keep your applause going for Neil Duff. And into the semi-finals, Jason Brandon! Well, ladies and gentlemen, 5 minutes to get your breath back after that absolute crackerjack of a match. And we will be back with our next quarter-final in the women's competition as Bo Greaves takes on Yitka Cesarjova.
Tickets for the 2020 shooters in Toronto. The Swiss Open and Helvetia Open tournaments are held from May 30th till June the 1st. One of the longest running tournaments in Europe invites you to join them in between the most beautiful surroundings. The Swedish Open and Masters takes place from 15th to 17th of August. A popular tournament for many of Europe's best arrowsmiths, the double silver weekend always provides great entertainment. The Latvian Open and Riga Open are held from October 17th to 19th. One of the biggest tournament weekends in the Baltic region is near the end of the 2025 WDF season. An excellent chance to pick up your much-needed points in this silver and bronze weekend. For more information on each of these tournaments, go to the link in the description. A special thanks to our tournament sponsors and partners, Mission, Blaze, Quiff, Great Game, Dart Connect, L-Style and MasterCooler.com.
The lineup for the women's semi-finals here at the 2024 Mission WDF Lakeside World Championship. And we welcome to the stage the winner of 7 world ranking titles this year, the reigning Budapest Masters and 2-time Balaton Darts Masters champion from the Czech Republic, Yitka Cesarjova. Her opponent is the winner of 11 world ranking titles this year, twice the WDF World Masters champion, the reigning and 2-time Lakeside World Champion, Bow and Arrow, Bo Greaves!
So just how do we follow that cracker between Neil Duff and Jason Brandon, which saw the American come out on top in an epic last leg decider? Here's an idea. Let's bring out the 2-time Women's World Champion Bo Greaves, the best female player in the world, perhaps the best female player we have ever seen. She has been completely and utterly dominant in every dart series that she plays in. There's really nothing to lose for Yitka Cesarjova. She produced levels in round 1, the like of which we didn't really think she was capable of, averaging 77 against Anka Zylstra. But the most impressive aspect of that performance was the front 9 average of 98. The scoring power was definitely there. However, she is going to have to produce something utterly epic in order to beat Bo Greaves. She's playing in front of an atmosphere, in front of a crowd that she's never played in front of before. I think you can see a few nervous smiles on her face as she prepares to take on the #1 seed and 2-time world champion. Lorraine Winstanley, you might need to help me through this.
You say Yitka's got nervous smiles. Yitka always plays with a smile on her face. We don't know whether it's nerves or not. Like you say, she's got nothing to lose. I think she'll enjoy this, no matter what.
She's been attending quite a few sessions. I've seen her in the venue with her family who have travelled over from Czechia with her. And she's almost got the demeanour of someone who can't quite believe that she's here. She came in the break into the officials' room where we sit between sessions and had one of the 180 placards to get the autographs of our referees and MC Anthony Dundas, which is a very quick way to devalue that freebie.
She's soaking up every aspect of being here. She's really enjoying the experience, and I think when you come to the Lakeside for the first time, that's how you should perceive it. You should enjoy every minute.
What she might be fearful of in the early stages is if Bo establishes a lead and Yitka can't find a range on the trebles.
I think that's every opponent to Bo's fear, that you can't find your range and you just can't give her a game. You know, you can't give Bo any chance. And if you're in the position to create the chances for yourself, you know you've got to take them because you're not coming back if you miss.
Yitka nearly losing a dart to the infamous lighting box.
As much as there's no pressure whatsoever on this 40 for Bo, she will want to wrap it up pretty sharpish just to settle her own feelings really, I think, and get that first score on the board.
And the only thing that might hamper Bo is if Yitka doesn't perform to her best. She won't really give Bo a game in that case, and then Bo maybe could get complacent.
It does happen, not very often, but not to Bo, I mean. But yeah, it's that can happen. The last thing she will want is to get dragged into a long slog. She's up there to do a job, and she's never happy unless she does that job well. Even when she wins on a B game, she still wants to play her A game all the time. For the talent that Bo is, she does carry a lot of pressure because everybody expects her to be throwing 95, 100 averages every game. Even your top pros don't do that game in, game out every time. But because she backs her own ability, she wants to perform like that all the time, so isn't happy with her B game.
140.
Always looks so cool and laid back. Always looks like she's playing practice games.
She is just such a cool and laid back character off the hockey as well.
Treble 17.
Cricket, and she's really establishing herself in the women's game.
Gives it a fist pump.
More settle her nerves there.
13 darter, it's sensational darts.
And a breaker throw.
I don't think Yitka would have been too bitter at the fact that I'm guessing many in the auditorium would have predicted this to end in 6 legs.
Yeah. On paper, yeah.
121.
She needs to keep that momentum going though if she's wanting to stay within touching distance. Who's up next?
Mr. Lim will close the show against Jarno Bottenberg of the Netherlands. Player to look out for after not only his Dutch Open win at the start of the year, but his defeat over Jimmy van Schie. pre-tournament favourite.
It's going to be another exciting game, isn't it? Giving Scott Mitchell the pleasure of commentating on that one, so I can be in the crowd like a proper fan.
Are you going to lift one of your things up, 180 things, and dress up?
Doesn't look as comfortable as she normally does. And it takes a lot to not go off a stride, so...
What were the hottest conditions you ever played in?
There's two places. The match play stage, the Winter Gardens. What a hot venue that is. Obviously, you're not going to turn it down because of the heat. What an experience. And the other place was when we played the Women's Series in Neatenhausen last year. Earlier on this year, sorry. It was like playing in a pressure cooker. It was so hot. And I would rather be cold to play than hot. When I get too warm, my hands, my fingers swell, I don't open my hand quick enough so my darts catch on my hand. I'd rather be cold, definitely. As hot as it gets in here, I've never really felt over hot on the stage. I felt flustered, but not over hot.
77.
Bo only averaging 75 right now. I do have Wi-Fi back, by the way.
Excellent.
Someone felt it was a good idea to change the password mid-session. Thank you for that.
And not tell us.
Yeah.
She looks quite deflated, Bo does at the moment, which is not like her at all. She can't take out the 159, so she'll be looking to leave this as sweet as she can. And that was a great find with her last dart.
Double 11. Yeah, that's quality.
No problem there.
One leg away from booking a semi-final spot against Dieter Hedman. He was too strong for an under-par Nicole Renault. Been an amazing evening at Lakeside. And who knows, it could become even more special. As Paul Lim makes another entrance.
50.
All the games tonight have been really entertaining. Like I said before, the crowd really, but they've got their money's worth and the night isn't over yet.
Zajeva looking for a souvenir 180.
Should be disappointed not leaving a finish. I'm pretty sure Bo is going to set this up now. She's teasing her. She's going to go out with a bang.
You heard it here first.
No pressure, Bo. Don't let me down. She didn't get the memo.
No.
60.
Too chilled out to listen.
Yeah, she very rarely listens to anything I've got to say, so.
Double 15. Chose to stay there. No,
You're
that's
looking
what
at the
Bo's
wrong
got.
score. She set that up beautifully to leave tops. It's a good job she knew what she was doing there, Dan. Tops to take this leg.
It has been a long week. And this game's going on longer. Yitka looking very handy at tops.
She's still smiling. There she is.
Even though we saw Kirsty Vinnikainen tease the 9 darter, it was always comfortable for Bo. It's kind of been the same with her playing a C game.
Yeah. It's enough. She's doing enough.
This is an in-between performance from Yitka. She was brilliant against Anka Zylstra. It was a real scrap against Desi Mercer in round 2.
Beautiful darts, Bo.
We complete the lineup for the men's semi-finals here at the 2024 Mission WDF Lakeside World Championship. And we welcome to the stage, first of all, a man playing in his second Lakeside quarter-final, 34 years after his first. He is the two-time reigning Ulaanbaatar Open champion, the Singapore Slinger, Paul Laird! Part in his first Lakeside World Championship quarter-final. He is the reigning Dutch Open champion, Botti Jarno Bottenberg!
There's a combined 93 years of age up on that lakeside stage. Paul Lim accounts for 70 of them, if you hadn't heard already. The Singapore slinger, one of the most legendary figures in the sport of darts for what he did here 34 years ago. Moreno Blom was accounted for 2-0 in the opening round, an average of 90. Meant Paul showed the world he's still a hugely capable player. And his two subsequent games have shown he is a capable battler. Defied a comeback from Kai Fan Lung to go on and win 3-2. And then last night, played late into the night against Scotsman Gary Stone. But Jarno Bottenberg is a player who has blossomed in the WDF this year. Dutch Open winner with a 1-3-1 checkout double top. Matthew Edgar, Ryan Hogarth, and the pre-tournament favourite Jimmy Van Schie have been beaten by this 23-year-old who continues to get better. And it is another fascinating encounter of contrasts. Fast versus slow, old versus young, experience versus youth. Scott Mitchell is with me for the final game of the night. And Scott, it has been a breathless evening of darts. The Duff-Brandon game will go down in Lakeside folklore. Could we potentially get another 7-setter here?
We could well do. And to get that, we are going to need Paul Lim probably to step it up a little.
60.
Or Jarno to be dragged down from what his tournament average is a little. One thing you can say about 71-year-old Paul Lim is he doesn't throw the dart until he's ready.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing in the rules that say you have to throw at a certain speed.
140.
He's not deliberately slowing opponents down. He's setting his sight and throwing at his pace. And it's down to the opponent to beat him with that speed.
140.
Yeah, it very much is. And the secret to this game for Bottenberg, for me, is taking his darts out, wandering away. He knows it's going to be a slow old game. But the thing that he mustn't change is from when he puts his foot to the oche and then the way that he throws. That he mustn't change. And keep his throw speed exactly the same.
And the thing is, it's not as if Paul Lim's an unknown. He knows exactly what he's going to be facing.
No, if you haven't heard of Paul Lim, no matter what age you are, you've not really been a darts fan, have you, let alone a player?
Two 140s and two 42s for Paul Lim. It's been a mixed bag. But he's coming back for 137. First leg on the board for Jarno Bottenberg.
Christian, our referee there, doing the right thing, not moving to double check that Jarno's first dart was in the double. Waiting until Jarno asked him whether it was in or not. Good refereeing there. And I have to say, we've had good refereeing all week. You've hardly known the referees are here at the games, and that's when you know a good referee. Particularly as a player, when you go back through and say, do you know what, I can't remember the referee that reffed that game because he did such a good job. Fair to say that this is the stage that probably brought Paul Lim to being a household name, particularly amongst dart players over the last 40 years. That famous 9-darter here. He's done it again.
89.
It's that lower segment. All the 19s don't seem to be fully accepting of Jarno's darts.
Paul Lim not afraid to try another part of the board. Had a bit of success down there, so he's going there again.
133.
Saw Jason Brandon pick off many a treble 19.
140.
This is the final game this evening, and the final game, if you're UK based, that you'll be able to watch on YouTube. The semi-finals and finals tomorrow and Sunday exclusively on Blaze TV, Freeview channel 64, Sky channel 164. Have I got a future in marketing, Scott?
I think you have. Does that mean a market stall or just marketing? I think a bit of both. I think you could do both.
Yes, selling fruit and veg or something.
Pretty ambidextrous. Don't ask me to spell that.
100. And require 87.
Treble 17, first port of call. Oh, lovely dart. Double 18, double 14.
59. Or require 20.
Barely took him out of stride. Didn't need a recount or rethink.
A little do-si-do along the yockey there for Paul Lim. So a last leg decider. He's going to decide the outcome of set one.
60.
Where have I said that before this evening, young Dan?
I think everyone's mind is still scrambled from what we saw between Neil Duff and Jason Brandon. I know mine is. Up there for you with one of the greatest games ever seen at this stage?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, any game that gets you on the edge of your seat attracts you to the game, and that's what darts is all about. That's what we want for the fans. That's what we want for the people that come to watch. That's why people come to watch. It's going to be a test of his nerve, this game. It's going to be a test of what he's got. Did he take too long?
What he might not have in a darts time is the first set.
Another couple of little ghost throws to get the arm moving, and Paul Lim is lining up on double five. The crowd are involved now. And as we saw with the Duff game, the crowd have their favourites.
The old man of darts keeps on smiling.
Fantastic. Just having a little look at the averages after the first set, and it's 84 apiece. So it's absolutely nip and tuck. Yano's got to find a way of keeping that tempo up once he puts his foot to the hockey. Paul Lim having a little mutter to himself. I have to say, probably the player that's had the most selfies this week here so far is Paul Lim.
No surprise.
No surprise at all. The increased crowd in here this evening has made it very warm indeed in the auditorium.
60.
It'll be superheated tomorrow.
So what you're saying, I'll have to leave me vest off tomorrow, are you? Is that what you're saying, Dan?
As long as there's something over it.
I've got one of those Rab C. Nesbitt vests. Traps the air under the shirt, you see, and keeps you warm. It's warm air.
Looking for the treble 19, treble 17 tops route.
So while he keeps that pace up, he throws that little bit harder, and Bottenberg gets the dart to the destination he's looking for. Paul Lim is grinding this. Continues to be successful on the treble 19. Bottenberg follows suit, but mainly because he was chasing 95 there to leave himself 170, but the bounty was higher. So a 133 leaves him 132. That one's hanging in there on a thread. Paul Lim continues to go at it. See the flight on that particular model of flight and stem moving out of the way as it goes by.
92.
Nicely set up by Jarno.
Good leg from Jarno. Double top after 12, looking to end this miniature slump. Paul winning the last 3. Double 19. Flew off the wires.
21. Only by 130.
A realistic chance here for Paul Lim. Has to stay straight with the first. Oh, he's done better than that. Now has to stay straight with this one. Got greedy going for the other treble 20, didn't he? Come on, Paul, use your experience. You should have went for the big number and give yourself a dart at that bullseye. Jarno now has a chance to come back and tidy up this 19, which you would back him to do, and quite rightly so. Holds his throw. And Paul Lim missed his opportunity there to get a dart at the double too. Try and make that a 2-0 lead, he did, but no dart at the bullseye. No chance of the leg. So on we go.
58. 96. 136.
Plays so well on his own throw, doesn't he?
85.
I suppose you learn to after all these years, don't you?
Eyeing up the 19s again.
I wonder if there's a stat somewhere to say which dart player in history has played the most legs of darts over their career. I suppose that would defend how much you've played and how regular you're at tournaments. And
140.
I'm sure someone out there knows, but I've got to admit, now is not the time for me to be digging through the archives.
no, I wasn't asking you to. It was just a metaphoric question. I'll tell you who it isn't. It's not me.
Paul's a very good shout.
134.
I'm just randomly guessing now. The things like lakeside appearances has got to be sort of Martin Adams, I would have thought. He would have the most lakeside appearances.
Yet another hold-up throw for Paul.
The answers to those questions on a postcard should get here by the time we leave.
problem Jarno's got is that shaking off Paul Lim is incredibly difficult. Not just because of the pace he plays at, but because he always seems comfortable on his own throw. It's a horrible combination for the Dutchman.
177. Now they require 140.
Double 10. Oh, that's magnificent.
Applauded by Paul Lim. As we just go past the hour of 2300. See, one of our fancy dress groups are leaving. Freddie Mercury is leaving the building. I don't know whether that's Queen with him or the Beatles, I'm not sure, but they're heading for the exit. Obviously, to catch the last train or the last bus home.
134.
Or maybe the limo. There may be a limo. It's Freddie Mercury.
And he deserves it. But the show must go on here.
And it's a kind of magic from Paul Lim.
On the day where we've had two players walk out to We Will Rock You, Florian Price and Shane McGurk.
Very unusual that two players have the same walk. I think Glenn Durrant and Adrian Lewis had Pigbag at the same time, but obviously in different codes, didn't they?
Yeah, and I'm sure when Glenn went over to the PDC, he wanted to commandeer it, and Adi said no. It's mine. He might message me to confirm, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. As in previous games, looking across to his brother. His brother sat in the same place. It's really weird here. When you start having a run at this tournament, and when you start having a run, you start doing things through superstition. And I saw yesterday somebody walking, and I won't name the player, they were walking to the stairs furthest away in the hotel to go up the left-hand set of stairs rather than the right-hand set of stairs before they entered the hotel. Because obviously that's the superstition, that's the way they started at the start of the week, by going in that set of steps because of where their car was parked, and they don't want to change it.
99.
Have you had any superstitions like that? Do you have any superstitions as a commentator? Do you have to wear the same socks or anything like that?
Well, I do have a superstition in the hotel where I use the lift to go up to the first floor instead of the stairs. Or that might just be laziness.
I think we know the answer to that, and I'm not going to highlight it.
Yeah.
You are 30 now, yesterday, so
Stone.
you and Thora Hurd that have used that lift then.
93.
So 74 for set two then for Bottenberg, treble 14. He's hit a 33, that's not a bad miss. 41 now. Heading across to double 18. And a set dart missed.
I did think he was going to go single 9.
The usual go throw from Paul Lim.
Paul Lim not going to follow up with a 140 of his own in response to Jarno's.
Now he'll look to hit the open target and throw nice and high.
100. Jarno requires 36.
To get the game back on level terms, and crucially, to break the throw. Jarno would then have the darts in the third set. big visit before the break.
Yeah, outside Jarno.
It's tight. But Jarno
That's
Bottenberg
inside.
is made of tough stuff these days. You do not win the Dutch Open for no reason. You win it because you're class at darts and you've got the bottle to match. And Jarno Bottenberg ensures at the break it is 1-all.
Ticket that you should not miss at Toronto. The Swiss Open and Helvetia Open tournaments are held from May 30th till June the 1st. One of the longest running tournaments in Europe invites you to join them in between the most beautiful surroundings. The Swedish Open and Masters takes place from 15th to 17th of August. A popular tournament for many of Europe's best arrowsmiths, the double silver weekend always provides great entertainment. The Latvian Open and Riga Open are held from October 17th to 19th. One of the biggest tournament weekends in the Baltic region is near the end of the 2025 WDF season. An excellent chance to pick up your much-needed points in this silver and bronze weekend. For more information on each of these tournaments, go to the link in the description. A special thanks to our tournament sponsors and partners, Mission, Blaze, Quiff, Great Game, Dart Connect, L-Style and mastercooler.com.
Paul Lim and Jarno Bottenberg involved in a nip and tuck contest. We've played all 10 possible legs thus far. 5 apiece, 1 set apiece. But the finish of 36 from Bottenberg in the last leg, where Lim's scoring did go a bit off the boil, meant Jarno got the break. He's now throwing in the 3rd set. He is being slowed down. There's the Dutchman. Not purposely, of course. Paul, I believe, thinking that Jarno... Well, he thought that it was his throw first, and our referee Christian Sorensen just making him aware that that's not the case. Very even game as we expected it to be, Scott.
Yeah, even in a way that it really is big experience against kind of inexperience and flair.
180.
Fastest way to get the crowd back on side. And that's something that Jarno, should the game be tight as we go on, may have to learn to experience. And he will have to over his darting career. There's no two ways about it.
Players who play a lot of soft tip is that they're not very good at counting because they've got machinery that does it for them.
136.
I think we can all see Jarno's dilemma here. He's trying to do his thing.
133.
It's not that Paul Lim's getting in his way. It's not that he's standing there at the board and Lim continues to plug away and has a little chat with himself. Jarno's got back into the habit of every throw looking at his brother in the crowd. try to steady his mind.
.180, 140 and 28. Yano lucky that Lim is quite a way off.
Indicated to himself there he was stretching. Knew what the problem was and made it right with his next dart.
78.
Loose last dart leaves one of those awkward mid-range checkouts. He might only get one dart. Two single 19s leaves 160.
85.
Treble 19 much better. Double top. And we're back on terms.
Break of throw puts Yano back in the driving seat for set 3. From a 2-0 lead in set 3. Paul Lim finds himself level. But once again comes out and frustrates his opponent by getting that last dart treble.
134.
Nice work from Yano. He really is having to dig deep here. There will be another break before this game is completed. What's going to be the score at that break? A few stretching exercises there from Yano. In the background, are they the equivalent to Paul Lim's ghost rowing?
We'll never know.
No, we will never know. Treble-less visit there from Bottenberger's opened the door for Paul Lim. He will go the ball route, or he should go the ball route. He does, 25. Treble 20 now for the bullseye. Treble 20 is there. Bullseye for the set. Jarno Bottenberg can't look. Oh. It caught the flight, didn't it?
It certainly did. Jarno wandered off. He'll come back for 112.
Paul Lim has stood there smiling away without a care in the world. You have to love that. How do you do that? This is a World Championship quarter-final.
Double 18.
94. Only 125.
Both players have missed set darts.
So he goes the 9 route for the double 8. Set 3 going Paul Lim's way. One more dart. Double 4. It's another set to Paul Lim.
And it's greeted with a big celebration.
I don't know whether they're high-fiving in the crowd or one or two are leaving because their taxi are leaving. Don't leave now, ladies and gents. This game has still got some work to be done. And 2 sets to 1 in favour of Paul Lim.
60.
The averages are 86 a piece. We said the Duff game earlier with Jason Brandon was a grinder and a scrapper.
97.
This one most certainly is because of the contrast in styles between the two players, the contrast in ages between the two players and the contrast in experience between the two players. And what other sport do you get this?
That's why we love darts. If Jarno manages to overcome Paul,
95.
I would be very surprised if he'd ever been involved in such a grueler.
140.
And these last couple of visits, Paul Lim has thrown a little bit quicker. And that suited Jarno's game. So he's taken the pace out slightly once more.
139. Bowling by 70.
Double 16.
Not now, please. Definitely put Paul Lim off there.
Bowling by 62.
Sounded like Bo Duke was in from the Dukes of Hazzard.
That sounded like treble 10, double 16. And that looked like the fist pump of a relieved man.
Second leg challenge for first. Game on. 96.
Paul Lim already in this match has thrown 25 ton plus scores. Jarno Bottenberg's 20. 140 stakes. Bottenberg is ahead. 10-6. Both on 180.
World that you should not miss in Toronto. The Swiss Open and Helvetia Open tournaments are held from May 30th till June the 1st. One of the longest running tournaments in Europe invites you to join them in between the most beautiful surroundings. The Swedish Open and Masters takes place from 15th to 17th of August. A popular tournament for many of Europe's best arrowsmiths, the double silver weekend always provides great entertainment. The Latvian Open and Riga Open are held from October 17th to 19th. One of the biggest tournament weekends in the Baltic region is near the end of the 2025 WDF season. An excellent chance to pick up your much-needed points in this silver and bronze weekend. For more information on each of these tournaments, go to the link in the description. A special thanks to our tournament sponsors and partners, Mission, Blaze, Quiff, Great Game, Dart Connect, L-Style and MasterCooler.com.
For treble 16 for the Bull. That's the third time he's had a bounce out now by my count. Then needs a treble.
55.
20 for tops. Oh, just had to lean over and check.
41.
He was just double checking with Christian, but he didn't have to check with that one. That was definitely a 1. Yeah, they're both in, Paul. Don't bust it. Nice and high.
140.
Great experience. Jarno's got to split. Double 18. He's been favouring this.
3.
He has indeed, and the way his dart goes in the board, it kind of kicks that way and allows him to use that dart, doesn't it?
There's double top. Not the ideal start to this fifth set for Jarno Bottenberg.
One of those again where the break probably came at the wrong time for Bottenberg. He was just getting back into it, finding a bit of rhythm, winning that fourth set. Oh, here comes Paul Lim again. You just can't keep this guy down, can you?
He's a remarkable human being. Slips into the one. That's been a recurring theme.
40.
Not a great deal of damage done.
Well, this is better from Bottenberg. Pressure in the 60 of Paul Lim.
Double top. 2-0 in set 5.
What pressure, Dan? There's no pressure there.
I think Paul Lim, for the last however many years, has treated any darts competition he's entered as a free hit.
I think that's a fair assumption. I think that's a very fair assumption.
He's here to enjoy himself.
I was just about to say the same. Does he look like a man that has not enjoyed himself at what he loves doing?
180.
Could be an 11 darter here.
140. 59.
Once again, leaving the favoured 36.
This time it's straight in.
Nice hold to throw from Bottenberg there. Keeps the set alive. And once again, continues to recover. And the first two darts are quite where they want them to go. Yano finding a spring in his step after winning the last leg.
I think the pace has picked up slightly. We know Bottenberg's quick, but it doesn't feel like Paul Lim is ambling or doing as many ghost throws as he did earlier.
And that's when he addresses the oche. He hasn't been slow around the oche at all. It's when he goes to the oche and addresses the oche. He's had a few throws where he has thrown maybe a little bit too quick for himself. And then he goes back to throwing each dart individually. And basically what I would say, he's trying to give every dart a chance when it leaves his hand. He doesn't want the dart not to sit there properly. He doesn't want it to do anything untoward. And there's nothing wrong with that.
95.
Needs a treble.
41.
Almost neck and neck.
Once again, there's that treble 20.
The clock strikes midnight.
94. All require 107.
107 then, Paul, for the third set. We'd expect 18. Not too far away from busting. Double 16 now. Paul Lim leads this match 3-2. Nerveless. His second ton plus checkout.
Jarno can't believe this is happening, can he? I like to look at the player that's not throwing in situations like this, and it just looks like he can't believe what's happening here, Jarno. How is this happening? He's just had another set of his that he started with throw, and he's been turned over.
Jarno Bottenberg must be stood there throwing darts, playing against 70-year-old Paul Lim, thinking he's in some kind of fever dream. I get you, Jarno.
83.
Definitely picked his scoring up since the break. Only managed 180 beforehand. There's 3 in the last 4 legs. How about another?
140.
Well, it does leave the 140, which we saw him pin so expertly in the second set some 2 months ago. Deja vu. Oh, he's banged it straight in. Yeah, we know you've done it twice, Jarno. I think that's what he was indicating anyway. The fingers were the wrong way round.
If not, his brother's upset him in some way or another in the last 30 seconds.
98.
We've now gone past the midnight hour.
23.
And 1 or 2 have been leaving to catch the last train to Trans Central.
134.
More hand signals to Jarno.
So, a 7th and deciding set. Buckle up your seatbelts. Advantage Bottenberg. He's got the throw and he's made the better start. And is this Paul Lim darting fairy tale about to come to a quarter-final conclusion? It's the second time he's ever been in a World Championship, last 8. It's amazing to think that, other than the run in 1990, which saw him hit the 180, and when I say 180, I mean 9-darter. His World Championship career has been a spate of first and second round exits. For how much of a revered figure he is.
Someone enjoying that treble 20 there in the crowd.
Every voice is amplified.
Even ours, mate, now.
Our volume is going to have to decrease.
Those 2 4-0 quarterfinals of the afternoon session are distant memory now for us. They feel a long time ago.
Only require 157.
Just to be able to commentate, mate. I probably won't be able to get up the stairs to get here. A dodgy double 9. He still goes for it. Paul Lim takes a 2-leg lead in this last set. Are we about to witness some more Lakeside special history?
Well, Jarno's gifted Paul a chance with an opening visit of 59.
Did Paul Lim get a little excited there? Is he seeing the finishing line a little early? And the crowd were really wanting that to go in. There was the odd shout while he was throwing. He's laughing about it. His tongue is coming out, but Jarno rightly taking his time.
Double 18. Jarno Buckenberg, balls of steel. He's still in this.
Is that relief or is that belief? Have we just seen the game, the tide turning? Has the big roar inspired Paul Lim?
Great recovery. One treble per visit may just be enough.
He'd like to be greedy and get a double treble visit, but while you're trying to be greedy like that, there's always a concern. But you have a no treble visit at all. Here's the double treble visit he is dreaming of.
It's a treble visit that he dreamt of.
Wow. If you are not on the edge of your seat, oh, Jarno.
Jarno. Irresistible.
Well done, Jarno.
It deserves the last leg.
Going to lead the tops again, needs that treble 19. Little shuffle along the hockey to try and get an open time. This time it doesn't happen. 144 can't go, but can he set it up? He has. And now he has to pray. Paul Lim should get another dart.
He's going to get two. Over to you, Paul Lim. It is uncharted territory for Paul Lim. The 70-year-old Singapore slinger is a world
against him. Incredible. There are no other words.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for Jarno Buttenberg. At 42 years after his debut, he's in his first World Championship semi-final. Paul Lay! Marvellously, Paul has just signed someone's head. Ladies and gentlemen, that does bring quarter-finals day to a conclusion here at the Lakeside. Have you all had a good evening? Who's coming back tomorrow? A few, well, some of the people coming back tomorrow may have already gone to get their buses and trains, but we will be back 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, semi-finals day here at the Lakeside. Thank you all very much for your company, and we'll see you next time. God bless and good night.